classic Super Mario Bros. Games, a necessity for gracious living. On the 13th of September 1985, the world of video gaming changed forever with the release of the first Super Mario Bros. Game. As we know, the title would not just help define mascot side-scrolling platformers, but help define video games themselves. Less than 1 year later, on the 3rd of June 1986, Japan would receive this classic game's sequel, which was sensibly titled Super Mario Bros. 2. As you likely know, this Famicom Disk System game would be a different Mario Bros. 2 from the one that the rest of the world would get. But did you know that Japan would get another side-scrolling classic Mario game that could only be experienced on the disk system? Yes, that's right, in today's upload we will explore the history of the most obscure 8-bit Mario Bros. Game that could be enjoyed on Nintendo's home console. So join me as we discuss this oddity, why it was made, and cover what it was all about. So with all this said, I am Lady Decade and this is the story of all Night Nippon Super Mario Bros. Video games, they are bloody excellent, aren't they? They function as a core pillar as part of popular culture today. Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry with a vast audience supporting the entertainment medium. However, while this is the case, you will likely notice that the majority of older people continue to write off video games as no more than mindless lowbrow crap, which isn't even worth the effort of ever trying out in the first place. A whole generation of people continues to live who stubbornly chooses to write off video games as definitely not for them, even though the pastime has grown and grown in both popularity and sophistication over the last 45 years. They say there is a video game for everyone, but try to tell that to many older people and they will likely laugh in your face as they continue to binge on daytime television. So when we consider how widespread such an attitude is now, back in 1986 video games were more looked down on, particularly somewhere as conservative and steeped in tradition as Japan. So the fact that Super Mario Bros. Was proving so successful was a testament to the game's quality. Super Mario Bros. Was helping the Japanese video game market expand, causing other entertainment mediums to take note. This brings us to discuss All Night Nippon, a Japanese radio program broadcast by Nippon Broadcasting System and other radio stations. With airing beginning back in 1967 and proving very popular, All Night Nippon would rotate different personalities, presenting shows on various weeknights. Pop artists would host shows and perform music live on air, over time helping to embed the programming as a key entertainment facet within Japanese media. You could say that All Night Nippon had top of the pops level relevance, only without the creeps tarnishing its future relevance like Jimmy Savile. Now then.
What? Come off it.
Nippon Broadcasting System is a subsidiary of a more powerful entity known as Fuji Media Holdings, with both companies being affiliated with the Fuji Sankai Communications Group. Nippon Broadcasting would end up being instrumental in helping to create several other companies, including the likes of Fuji Television. So, with the prolific All Night Nippon approaching its 20th birthday in 1986, along with a continued desire to branch out to other areas of media, the success of Super Mario Bros. Would lead them to look towards video games. A collaboration of sorts with the likes of Nintendo would make perfect sense for both companies, as Nintendo was looking to catapult their brand and IPs even further into the Japanese mainstream. Of course, the mainstream sought to exploit newly emerging entertainment niches to expand their influence. This, in some ways, was a match made in heaven, with potential benefits to both parties. This would eventually lead to the release of the quirky video game All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros. I shall discuss more about what appears within this game shortly, but first we need to cover another Mario product that the game shares nearly the exact same cover art as. I'm referring to Mario Nidai Boken, a 1986 music single put out by Pony Canyon, another subsidiary of the Fuji Sankai Communications Group. Mario no Daiboken is a version of the Super Mario Bros. Ground theme, only with the addition of lyrics. These lyrics were added to the iconic melody after being written and chosen from a nationwide lyrics contest hosted through All Night Nippon. Building on this further, Pony Canyon would also release a promotional VHS tape that featured the track. As you can see from this footage, this was more or less a tips and tricks video featuring someone dressed up in a Super Mario Bros. Costume, serving as another further piece of Super Mario Bros. Non-video game media. After these endeavours had proven to be popular and successful, the partnership to create a Mario Bros. All Night Nippon crossover video game was born, resulting in one of the strangest video games in Mario's storied history. All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros. Developed by Nintendo's Entertainment, Analysis and Development Division and published by Fuji Television, the game was introduced to the world in 1986. However, the title would not be commercially available. Instead, a contest was hosted whereby show listeners were told to send postcards containing interesting content. Those deemed good enough would then be chosen to be entered into a raffle, allowing them to win a copy of this mysterious Mario exclusive. 3,000 copies were given away via the show, along with an additional 20 copies via popular Japanese gaming magazines such as Famitsu. Demand would be so high for these rare games after the contest that a few additional copies were produced and sold at a premium via mail order. If you were a fan of this show and Super Mario Bros., who wouldn't want a copy of this elusive game? So now we have discussed why this game exists. What did it contain? We may as well start by reading a translation of the text in the instruction manual that came with the game. It reads, "One day, the peaceful all-night Nippon dreamland known as Viva Kingdom, where mushrooms live, was invaded by the tribe of huge turtle Koopas who possess powerful magic. Said magical power was used to transform all the quiet mushroom people into rocks, bricks and microphones, among other forms. All Night Nippon personalities Miyuki Nakajima, The Tunnels, Kyoko Koizumi, Beat Takeshi and the AB brothers were also captured. What became of Sun Plaza Nakano? Pitiable Sun Plaza was fooled by Koopa's letter to his illusionary business prosperity corner into visiting him, and he was changed into Koopa tribe minion Okap. The only one who can undo this magic on the Mushroom Kingdom and revive All Night Nippon is the Viva Kingdom's own Princess Peach. She is presently in the hands of King Koopa. Mario has stood up to help the personalities trapped in each world, defeat the Koopa tribe, rescue Princess Peach and rebuild the peaceful All Night Nippon dreamland Viva Kingdom. The Mario in the TV is an avid All Night Nippon listener like you. Only you can bring this adventure to a conclusion." So there you have it. This strange idea for a game even has a story. Mario goes on a mission to rescue all of the beautiful Japanese celebrities that co-star alongside him in the game. But apart from that, how does this one differ from the two more well-known Super Mario Bros. Games that were available on the Famicom hardware at the time? To put it simply, staging-wise, it is pretty much a mashup of the two previous Mario Bros. Games. Much like Versus Super Mario Bros., which could be experienced in the arcades, but with a different selection of stages and asset swaps being present. Speaking of asset swaps, to go along with the All Night Nippon theme, many of the stages in the game take place at night, meaning there is a night sky backdrop present whenever Mario explores many of the game's outdoor areas. The most notable and quirky change of all to the game's overall design relates most heavily to its sprites, with Goombas and Piranha Plants being altered to appear as big-headed caricatures of DJ Sun Plaza Nakano and Tamori, nods that fans of All Night Nippon would recognise. Let's be honest, if they made a top-of-the-pops version of Super Mario Bros., Brits would have easily been able to distinguish a Jimmy Savile Goomba in the game, so contextually this all makes sense. Speaking of sprite swaps, the toads located at the end of each stage who blurt out the iconic line, "The princess is in another castle," have all been swapped out for Japanese celebrities. I do not personally recognise any of them, however I am clearly not the target market for such a game. At the end of World 8, instead of a celebrity, you rescue Princess Peach, who in this unique game is wearing a kimono instead of her regular princess dress. Like in Super Mario Bros. 2 or the Lost Levels, as they would later become known in the West, Worlds A, B, C and D become available after beating Stage 8, Part 4. A hard mode is also unlocked, which sees Okapi replaced with Buzzy Beetles, with all enemy movements being sped up, increasing the game's difficulty. So yeah, a pretty novel piece of a Super Mario Bros. History that was not released over here. The Fuji Television and Nintendo relationship would not end here though, as the successful partnership would result in the release of another Famicom Disk System game developed by Nintendo and published by Fuji. This second game, released in 1997, would be known as Yumi Kojo, more commonly referred to under its subtitle, Doki Doki Panic. We also know this game would be retooled and released as Super Mario Bros. 2 in the West, and later as Super Mario Bros. USA in Japan. But what were the characters of the original version all about? They were included as the game was based on Yumi Kojo 87, a huge event celebrating mass media sponsored by Fuji TV and held that year. Doki Doki Panic was a part of this huge spectacle, and the characters who were playable in the game had previously appeared in promotion and marketing for the ambitious Yumi Kojo event. So essentially, Nintendo's partnership with Fuji TV would not just result in the obscure All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros., but it also led to the creation of Doki Doki Panic. This chapter is much more important to gaming history than it seems at first. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you want some more odd Mario trivia, check out my recent upload on the Super Mario Bros. PC port that was lost for over 30 years. See you all again soon.